Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, and this time we are still talking about me. And this time we are going to talk about why I love sunbathing. Come and follow me! Why do dogs love to play in the sun? Dogs love laying in the sun because it feels good and because it's a good source of vitamin D. The warmth of the sun feels nice on our skin, and it's a nice healthy dose of vitamin D in moderation, of course, and that goes with our dogs too. Laying in the sun feels good to our dogs, and that extra warmth does help regulate their temperature. Cuddling is another common way our dogs stay warm and comfy. Vitamin D is considered a pro-hormone, which means it's more of a hormone than a vitamin. It's still considered a vitamin because our dogs can't absorb calcium without it. But it's also considered a hormone because our dog's body manufactures it in response to direct sunlight. Vitamin D is kept in the fatty tissues of the body and liver. It helps regulate the calcium and phosphorus balance in our dogs' bodies. Vitamin D for dogs is important for bone formation and muscle and nerve control. Vitamin D stimulates the kidney conservation of calcium and therefore helps the body to retain it. Because of its interplay with calcium, vitamin D is extremely important in bone formation and nerve and muscle control. Based on pet education, most of the vitamin D our dogs receive is obtained through their diet, although they create it with direct sunlight just like us. What is the science behind your dog sunbathing? When humans lay out in the sun, the rays help break down the oils in our skin that creates vitamin D. When we stand in direct sunlight, the oil in our skin reacts to the UV rays by breaking down the chemical bonds and creating vitamin D3. After it's broken down, it's absorbed back into the body and into our bloodstream through dermal absorption. The process takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Dogs have that same chemical on their skin that converts to vitamin D under direct sunlight. But due to their fur, vitamin D3 can't be efficiently absorbed back into their body. Vitamin D3 remains on their fur and gets ingested orally when they lick and groom themselves. Even though dogs can create their own vitamin D in direct sunlight, their absorption is quite inefficient. Our dogs get the majority of their vitamin D through their diet. Next time your dog is grooming himself, remember that he's not just doing it to look pretty. He's also getting some vitamin D. Can too much sun be harmful to dogs? Prolonged exposure to the sun can lead to sunburn and skin cancer in dogs. When it comes to sunburn, some dogs are more susceptible than others. The dogs most at risk from sunburn are hairless breeds, those with short, thin coats, and dogs with white or light-colored fur. To prevent sunburn, make sure your dog has access to shade at all times. They'll instinctively seek shade when the sun becomes too intense. If you spend a lot of time outdoors with your dog, pick up some dog-safe sunscreen. Human sunscreen contains ingredients such as zinc oxide that are toxic to pets. Like us humans, prolonged exposure to the sun puts our dogs at a higher risk of developing skin cancer. You can help cut down on that risk by making sure your dog has access to shade, and by using a dog-safe sunscreen when they're outdoors. So, why does your dog love laying in the sun? Like me? I assume most dogs love to lay in the sun. Every dog I've owned and all of the dogs I've known have their own little special sun spot picked out. Does your dog lay in front of windows and doors to soak up some of that warmth? Most dogs seem to have that favorite sunny spot, dedicated to the simplicity of a nice warm nap. Now, let's talk about the people ask about dogs. Is it bad for my dog to sunbathe? Too much sun exposure can lead to sunburning and even skin cancer in dogs. Short-haired or hairless breeds are at the most risk for this and should wear dog-safe sunscreen when outside for prolonged periods of time. This is especially important because human sunscreen has zinc oxide in it, which is toxic to pets. Is it okay for my dog to lie in the sun? Dogs can and do suffer from heat and sun-related injuries, just as humans do. Exposed areas of skin, such as the mouth, ears, and foot pads can burn if exposed too long to sunlight. And since dogs lack sweat glands, they can easily overheat if not provided with a shady or cool spot to take refuge. Why do dogs lay in the sun when it's hot? It's their instinct which will come into play to seek shade whenever the heat becomes too intensive for them. In case you spend a huge amount of time outside with your pup, consider picking some dog-safe sunscreen. Human sunscreen won't work because it contains zinc oxide, which is toxic to pets. Is sun good for dogs' skin? Dogs and all mammals have evolved living outside, exposed to the sun all day. Not only do they need sunlight, they need to be exposed to the changing nature of raw sunlight throughout the whole day to be healthy. Sunlight landing on your dog's skin and in her eyes triggers all sorts of important metabolic pathways. How long can dogs sit in the sun? In general, veterinarians recommend that your pets get a minimum of 20 to 40 minutes of direct outdoor sunlight daily. Light filtered through glass windows may feel good to your dog or cat, but it lacks ultraviolet rays and as such won't impart the same health benefits. So why do dogs like to lay in the sun? Just like me? The answer is simpler than expected. Canines certainly have no intention of getting a tan, but they adore being in the sun because they know that sunlight has many benefits. Let's discover together what they are. Number 1. The sun improves mood. Exposure to sunlight stimulates the production of serotonin, a kind of natural antidepressant, being a neurotransmitter able to generate a feeling of happiness. When our four-legged friends stretch out in the sun, they enjoy an increase in the production of this substance and subsequently feel automatically happier with a marked improvement in mood. Number 2. The sun increases vitamin D levels. The sun promotes the absorption of vitamin D, a fundamental nutrient able to regulate the levels of phosphorus and calcium, the two minerals that contribute to the development and strengthening of the bones. To prevent the emergence of diseases related to the skeletal system, such as osteoporosis or the joints, it is important that Fido or your four-legged friends spend time outdoors in order to absorb as much vitamin D as possible. Number 3. Exposure to sunlight also favors the production of melatonin, a hormone that has the task of regulating the animal's sleep cycle. Gathering a greater amount of this hormone, the dog can increase the quality of their hours of sleep and rest in greater tranquility. Number 4. The sun warms the body. It will be trivial, but the sun is the primary source of heat for us as much as it is for our pets. When the sun peeps out during the cooler periods, it is to be taken advantage of, given that it helps our companions warm up and avoid the most common diseases going around during the winter season. In older dogs, the warmth generated by this star also relieves pain and helps them avoid suffering from rheumatism. The benefits of the sun are numerous, but as with everything, it is very important not to overdo it. Prolonged exposure to the sun's rays may cause heat stroke in the dog. That is why you have to keep your pets always well hydrated and, when possible, have them wear protective clothing. You'll be spoiled for choice with the new FerPlast t-shirt collections in terms of the vivid colors and prints, top quality materials, and the perfect fit. Whether by the sea or poolside, we must not forget to bring a practical water bottle or alternatively a foldable bowl, which occupies little space and can easily be thrown in our bag, together with a refrigerating pet cool mat. This special mat contains a liquid coolant that is activated by the pressure of the animal's body to give a pleasant feeling of freshness. And now, after taking all necessary precautions, we can take our four-legged friends, or me, out to sunbathe. If you like this video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share, and follow me for more. Ruff, ruff!